everybody, let's roll. Real quick, let's find out, just in case you don't know everyone, our campus keeps transitioning. So real quick, tell us who you are and what do you do, and we're going to start right here.
I'm Connie Keegan, and I work in distance education, so come on over to the other side of the world and see us sometime.
Well, if you have candy. And I'm glad Connie's here because we have a lot of students who, their computer's Windows 8, so that'll be great.
Yeah. I'm Gail Kiger. I'm in distance ed with Connie, and I'm Blackboard administrator. So if you have any questions, come on over.
And Gail has bailed me out of a lot, so kudos and thank you publicly.
I'm Elizabeth. I'm in the library, and the investment of 2 hours here will help me a lot with all the students who will have many questions about this.
Absolutely.
When they appear in our library computers.
And Liz, I have to tell you, in the library has helped so many students with technology in all kinds of ways. And she probably sees more students than I do because, you know, all the traffic coming through. So thanks, Liz, so much.
Larry Scott, I teach biology, bought a laptop on Thanksgiving, Windows 8. Got to figure it out.
Merry
What's
Christmas.
that? Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Mike Bradford in Institutional Advancement in the Educational Foundation, and I'm still in Windows 7.
Well, who knows, you may not be for long. Ernie?
Ernie Wade, I'm in economics, and I'm currently in the process of learning Windows 8.1. And so far, I'm very impressed with it.
And I might make you official tutor of our class. If anyone gets stuck, I'll let you move around.
No, I don't.
He's like, no.
That's your recommend.
Thanks, Ernie. And next we have?
Debbie Harris. I'm an instructor in the School of Medical Technology, and I too have just gotten a tablet as a
Yeah. And what I'm going to be doing in a moment is I have a touch machine, but we do not in here. So every time we do any event, any task together, I'm going to show you it 2 ways. If you happen to have a touch, and if you don't have a touch, to help those who do have touch.
I'm Loretta Marshall in HR. I've had Windows 8 in my office computer for a couple months now, and I'm hoping you're going to take the pain away.
I will. Loretta has bailed me out a lot of HR. Thank you, my dear, as well. And my very dear friend.
Irene Wheeler, and I just have a new laptop at home with Windows 8, so I'll learn how to use it.
Absolutely.
Letitia Forster, HR, and I bought a laptop last year with 8 on it. It was painful. So I'm hoping Brenda can help me.
Yeah, there is a learning curve. I'll be the first to admit it, so we're going to be very gentle today.
It's Julie Bailey. I teach accounting.
And she keeps me straight on our hallway. Good.
I'm Pam Reynolds, and I'm a training instructor 1 in the Open Business Lab.
And she may see more students than any of us combined, so I'm so glad she's been so helpful for me.
Jane Pearson, and I teach health courses, and I'm the new Bill Freeman.
Yes, she's my across the hall neighbor. Well, welcome everyone. We're going to do a little mixture of touching and understanding and making sure we can navigate, as well as kind of understanding the whys. Why did they do this? So that way we kind of get the whole picture so we can be better equipped to help our students here at CVCC. So let me kick it up a little bit. Are you ready to have a little fun this afternoon? I know it's warm and cuddly, but we're going to show you how to roar with Windows 8.1. So let's see what this looks like. A lot of you know that on this side, I write some books. I write about 25 different college textbooks countrywide. About 500 colleges and universities use my materials. And at the end of class today, we'll be giving away one of my books. But if you're in business or IT, you can get your free one. Just go to cengage.com and you can get one of my Windows 8 books. So make sure you check that out later. Hey, I want to show you this to kind of premise what we're doing. This is the previous Pope being ordained in 2005. Look at the audience. One little cell phone in the corner. This is the world in which Windows 7, Windows XP, and Windows Vista was built. You know, everything was cool. But this is last year, and this is when the present Pope was ordained. And if you look at the audience, those are not candles. Do y'all get my point? In just the short 8 years, our world has really changed. And so technology has had to catch up with this world. So what Windows 8 was born from is that bottom world. And not the top. So even though there's a learning curve, we've got to catch up with this world around us because things have changed dramatically. So it's been a big year of change. In fact, I want to start out with my computer sitting right here. Do y'all see this little, this is not a CVCC computer, but who knows, maybe we'll be getting something like this one day. But I want you to know that computers have changed. If you were to go to Best Buy today, the computers that you would see are not like the computers on the floor next to you. They really don't even make desktop units like this anymore in the stores. This weighs 1.8 pounds. It not only has a touch screen, but everybody check this out. 1 minute it's a laptop, and the next minute it's a tablet. So a lot of computers are called convertibles. You can put your top down. What else can these things do? They don't get hot anymore. Why? Because it's called a solid state hard drive. Nothing's moving around, so it doesn't get hot like it used to. So we're going to have us see a lot of students walk in with computers like this because it's really a big year of change. So what we're seeing,
What the heck's the difference between all these phones? Windows or Android? What's LTE? Is it contagious? Which one fits my face? Do you make commission? Which one has a touch screen? Which one has a touchy-feely screen? Is this considered touching? What's the cloud? Where is the cloud? Are we in the cloud now? How many megapixels does one person really need? What makes a smart TV so smart? Whoa, 3D. Whoa, what if I break it? Do you install? Do you deliver? Are these noise canceling? No, I mean, do you deliver? So what's the difference between an e-reader and a tablet? Between a tablet and this thing? Which one is the most vibratiest? Can this transfer all my pictures of puppies dressed up like hot dogs? Sure. Can I use a dongle with this? Does it make you uncomfortable when I use the word dongle? Can I connect it to my TV? Can I connect these to my phone so I look dope when I call my peeps? You want to about your show a little bit? Why am I so awesome?
so we're seeing so many new things. Most of you heard the announcement around campus as of December 1st, and David and our staff are working to get this to happen any day now. Every student on our campus will be able to get a free 5 full copies of Office 365. So that's part of the email transition. That's been a little painful over the last couple days, but hopefully we'll get that ready. So this is a big grand scheme. And let me explain, I talked to William this morning to make sure I was on the right page. What we're now doing is any computer on campus that has Windows XP or Windows Vista, and yes, there are some computers on campus that do, they're going to be upgraded to Windows 7 or Windows 8 based on preferences. But over the next year or so, we're going to start seeing this summer, this fall, most of the computers on campus and libraries and so forth and our labs finally go to Windows 8. It's been on a year and a half now, and at first it was so different that a lot of companies looked at it and went, oh, what is this? Well, suddenly tons of companies are heading that way, and we want to make sure we're ready to go and be ready for those students as they come in. So as we get ready here, let me explain why Windows 8 is catching on. On April 8th, and that's what, 3 months away, Windows XP is being retired by Microsoft. It's been out 13 years, and we have a lot of businesses in Lynchburg who are presently using Windows XP. You say, why would they do that? Well, Apple only supports their technology for 3 years. Microsoft supported it for 13, and there's just so many other technologies that conflict with it now. So if a little business, I won't tell you what my dentist is in Lynchburg, but I went in the other day and noticed my dentist is still using Windows XP. And I said, you're going to change by April, right? And I explained why. I said, you know, my credit card and all those things in your system would no longer be safe. So we want to make sure that our businesses, our schools, and so forth are starting to move over to Windows 8 because this transition is happening. In about 2.5 years, Windows 7 is also being retired by Microsoft. So this is all happening, and this is the new trend that we're heading into. So we want to make sure we're ready for this because we're seeing tons of things like this on the news. Windows XP retirement will be hacker heaven because they're not going to continue to update the security and the drivers and all those kinds of things. So the only operating system you can purchase as a business or a company today on the PC side of the house is Windows 8.1. So this is the new replacement, and it's been a year and a half. All the students who got a new PC for Christmas, for their birthday, for graduation, is going to look like this operating system. So we want to make sure that the students know exactly what to do. So let's get started with these computers a little bit. And we're going to be very patient. I want everybody, as you walked through this door earlier, I want you to check how important you are. And I know everyone in here is very important, but we don't care anymore. We're all just having fun. So I'm not to speak. This is just like Vegas. What happens here stays here. So everybody, there are no dumb questions. Let's just leave frustration off the table and enjoy ourselves. Learning should be that kind of process. So, okay. There's a little bit of a learning curve, but we're going to do it slowly. And you have your little pads of paper next to you. Does anybody need any paper? Are we good? So feel free to jot anything down. When your computer starts, this will be the same thing that will happen in your offices when you get Windows 8. The computer will open to the CVCC screen. I don't know if you noticed this, but it booted up much quicker. Windows 8 takes 3 to 5 seconds to get to this screen. Windows 7 takes about a minute. So a lot more time right off the bat just to get here off the same exact computer. What I'd like you to do on that CVCC screen is this is actually called your lock screen. And you can put a different picture, but obviously we're here at CVCC. And this lock screen is just going to say, okay, you're not getting in right now unless you know what to do. So we need to next get into our login screen. So how do we do that? Everybody hit the escape key on your keyboard. And the escape key is in the upper left-hand corner of your keyboard. A lot of these trays are broken, so you may want to lay your keyboards up on the top. Sorry about that. Yes, you put in work orders for them. Yeah, they are. So when you hit the escape key, does everybody see a dark blue login screen?
Can you not be logged on to 2 Windows 8 at the same time?
Yes, you can be on the 5.
Okay, because I've been doing this for a while, whirling, and it hadn't been on.
Oh, that's the wrong login, so that's probably why. So I'm going to show you. Yeah, we don't use that one. I might just move it because I'm not sure where that's going to end up taking you. So let me just
That
sit
one
it.
wouldn't come on.
Okay. Right over there. Sorry about that. So let me help you get to where you need to be. What William said to use as a campus is everyone in the first blank that you're seeing on the dark blue screen, please type in CVEDU / and whatever your login, not that we've been using for years. So that's the same login that you typically use on your computer. And this is not the same as your brand new email, right? Because your brand new email is your school email address. And then your password for the old system, not necessarily your new CVCC email. Sorry about that. So let's hope everybody remembers what that is. And then you can click the arrow to the right of your password. And let's see if we all remember how to get in. Let's see. Everybody's like, oh, it's like a test. It does. The very first time will, because William has a script running to get it set up. The very first time. So after this, it'll just happen in 1 second. Okay. So try that. Okay.
Just log in the same way you log in on the system.
Oh, so
Because instructors are CVEDU, but staff is CVCC. So do CVCC / username.
So whatever your typical forward thing is. Let's see if we can get everybody there. You won't see many things on your screen in a minute. Oh, you're back. Okay, you're good. You're good.
You're so smart.
Jane calls them Paul.
Do you have to spell your name?
Yeah.
That's asking
Your
a lot.
username, it's your username, Jane.
Then give us skills at the last time.
That's no good. Huh.
I mean, I'm logged on.
They found her.
I'm logged on about 4 places right now. I don't know.
It takes a while.
We have a few still spinning, so
If it's spinning,
we'll see
you're
in a
okay.
minute. If not, we'll cry uncle and get William. I can't control
I've
that.
never seen that
That's
before.
right.
That's a good sign.
Okay, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, we'll just wait a second. Now, let me have you, I don't know why yours is different. That's not your problem or anything.
Loretta's logged in over here now. Loretta, you're in over here, baby.
I'm in everywhere now.
Do you have to be at 3 computers?
I'm needy. Overdue, really.
She overdoes her.
Yeah, I'm overachieving.
I'm telling Debbie, all these.
Can I do more than one at a time?
That would go back to mine.
Okay, now yours is a little bit different than mine, but we're gonna start from here. So let's remember what we just did. Very first time you log in, it takes 3 to 5 seconds. You'll get to the CVCC screen. How did we get from the lock screen to the login screen? What do we hit? Escape. And then, remember how we logged in? This is how you're gonna continue to log in. So it's either CVCC or CVEDU, your teacher or faculty login or staff, and then your password. You are now on our third screen. You're on the start screen. And this is not the desktop. Isn't that weird? What's it called? Start screen. You say, what is this? These little squares on the start screen, you can remember it's called start screen because it says start. This start screen, these squares, I'm no longer going to call them squares, have a name. They're called tiles. So what are the names, everybody? What are these things called? Tiles. Tiles. And you can move these tiles to different locations. You can reorder the tiles. You can remove the tiles. You can get rid of all of them or add some, and we'll figure all that out. Now, let me explain something very simply. If I move this tile here over to this spot right here, 6 days from now, if I go to your house and you have Windows 8 and I log into your Windows 8 computer, that tile will be moved over there and this image will be wherever else you log in. Does that make sense? So don't feel bad if you mess things up because you can always fix them at another time. So no big deal. So what happens is it follows you. Now let me show you some simple navigation so we're comfortable with moving around. Notice there's no start button in the bottom left-hand corner. And that freaks people out. This is Windows 8.1. The new version came out in October, a year after Windows 8 came out. But you see, well, I thought they put the start button back. Not exactly. But let's figure out some basics to get started with. The reason you don't need a start button is you start typing whatever letter that starts your word for what you're going to do. So let me explain it this way. Everybody, we're going to open Microsoft Word in a moment. So we're not going to find it or search for it. Everybody, what's the first letter of Word?
W.
So everybody, without touching anything else, press the W. And what happens?
Weather.
You've got all things over there on the side. Now type in the O, the second letter of Word. And now do you finally see Word? We won't open it, but if we would have hit enter at this point, it would have launched open. You can close it if it does. So let's try something else. To get rid of that on the side, all we have to do is just click on your background. Just click on your background anywhere to get rid of that area. How about if you were Skyping? What letter would you type? Everybody type an S. And if you may need the K or not, but it will start coming up. Skype is now built into Windows 8.1. Why Microsoft bought it. So now, do you understand why you don't need a start button? And let me explain the difference. In Windows 7, you had to click right here on the start button, remember? You get the little start search line. You have to click in there. Oh, I'm exhausted already. Click twice. Then I'd have to type W-O-R-D. Oh, then it goes WordPad. Oh, there's Word finally, and click it. So many extra steps. So no matter what program you're going to start, let's not do it, but let's say it. How would we open Excel? Just tell me. EX. So you'd have it. Got it? So you just start typing. Now, in the corners of Windows 8 all do something. The corners, they're all so important. And let me explain something with the corners. look up here with my mouse. You see my mouse moving around right here? When I say corners, I don't mean to lay it down here. I mean all the way in the very, very bottom corner. So what I want you to do is move your mouse to the very, very, very bottom left corner and click down there. Might take a second. Way in the corner. So you're getting, we'll try it another way. I'll get you back and forth in a second. Hold on. What I'd like you to do on your keyboards is hit the flying Windows button. Let me explain what a flying Windows button is. Let's first time just press this little Windows key. Do you all see it right here? So notice it doesn't do anything because we're not anywhere just yet. So everybody sees that flying Windows button? So here's what we're going to do. Let's open an app so we can get back and forth. What I'd like you to find on your screen is there's weather. And what is the weather set to right now on your screen? Did y'all see Washington, D.C.? That's okay, you type it in the old-fashioned way. So let's open weather. Everybody tap the weather app. It's a weather app. And let's get you moving around here. You can do it. Now, as soon as the weather app opens, do you see when it asks you a question? What question is it asking you?
Whether you use your location.
Yeah, is it okay to use my location? Let's allow it. And it's not using GPS. It's actually using our network here at the school, and it knows where we are. So, what city does it find for you? Lynchburg, Virginia. Just hit to confirm. So let's see what our weather is right now. There's a big note in the bottom that says, here's start, but that should go away in a little bit. But if you click right there, you can kind of see Thursday's weather is 44 degrees high, 27. And do you see the background of the picture is bright blue? The reason is it's bright blue outside. Tonight, if we're a quarter moon or a half moon, it would show that live in the picture. So it always shows you what it is. Now, let's move around to scroll. If you notice, we used to scroll up and down for everything. You know, any web page, you scroll up and down. But notice something about the monitors, and I'm glad they replaced the monitors in this room because it kind of gives that effect. All the new monitors coming out are called wide screens, or HD, high def. So everything's now wide, so instead of scrolling like this, doesn't it make sense that we start scrolling across? So take your mouse to the bottom of the screen. When your mouse is at the bottom, you'll get a scroll bar at the bottom and scroll to the right. Is it working for you? So most all apps in this new world scroll to the right. She's like, I can't do anything.
No
Weather?
No, there's no weather in the list.
Okay. I'm not sure what they've done to you.
It deals with technology and it's not going to work. It's going to be needed.
It is amazing, there's no weather
Just
yet.
switch.
There's no weather. No weather. Just look at hers just for now, and we'll hopefully, I don't know what they've done.
Poor Julie.
Poor William.
I'm still logged in.
You're gonna hurt it.
I'm still logged in on that one.
So, why do we scroll left to right? Because of the HD screen. So everything you're going to notice, and new web pages that are coming out are now starting to scroll left to right. That's kind of weird, but it kind of makes sense. Now, we want to show you this. We have tapped or clicked a tile, the weather tile, and we're now inside of an app. I want to show you how to close the app and get back in. So once we figure this out, we can do this in every app that we open. So how do we close anything that we happen to open? What we want to be able to do is once we have things open right here, any app that we have, whatever, it's my daughter, whatever app that you have open, how do you close it? Well, everybody put your hand up in the air like you're at your house, you're in your bedroom, and it's chilly outside. Someone left the window open. Everybody close the window for me. We're going to do that same action to close the app. So let me show you up on mine first. With a mouse, I can just take wherever my mouse is. When it gets to the top, it turns into a hand. Do you see the hand? I can click there and pull straight down to the very bottom, and it gets rid of it.
That is so cool.
And it also is the flying, is the Windows thing too, Corinne?
Yes, but that doesn't close
But it
it.
don't fly.
I'll go over that. So what we can do right here, so what we can now do is if I have the weather open, I'm going to open, let's open the weather again. Everybody tap your weather app or any app that you have. Now, let's say I'm on a touch computer, right? So I don't have a mouse. What I would actually do is just put my finger right here and pull straight down. So if you have touch, so now what we've done is close the app. I mean, it's no longer open until I relaunch it again. You say, well, how many apps can I have open at once? You actually can have hundreds. With Windows 7, you wouldn't want too much open, right? What happens if you have too much open in Windows 7? It slows down. Well, I'm going to get a kind of techie here, but you guys can handle it. Windows 7, if you just had 2 gig of RAM and nothing was open, you're using about 44% of your system resources with just nothing open, because Windows 7 is Windows 8 is much lighter. With 2 gig of RAM, same exact computer, if you had nothing open, it's only running about 4% of your system resources. So do you understand how you could have a lot more things open? But students come to me all the time and they're like, I have 200 apps open. I said, well, if your computer's turned off, I haven't figured that out either. The battery power on these computers is now typically 9 to 12 hours. So do you understand how they have enough time to open 200 apps? So the process of closing the app in the top and pulling straight down closes it so it's no longer open. Let's try it one more time. Everybody go to the top, click, pull all the way down to the very bottom and get back to your start screen. Now, we're going to do something similar. Everybody open the weather app again. This time, I don't want to close my weather app. I want to leave it open. I'm going to come back to work on it later. Does that see the difference? So it's kind of like minimizing used to be. You say, why didn't they leave that minimize exit? Well, the trouble with minimize exit is once you're over 40, and clearly I am, I have to put my reading glasses on to see those little buttons in the corner. Now we don't need all of that. This is so much easier to make swipes or clicks much bigger. So if I needed to get back to the start screen, there's a couple ways to do it. One way is with your mouse. I want you to take your mouse and put it in the very bottom left-hand corner. Does everybody kind of get a little Windows symbol down here? Now click that Windows symbol. That takes you back to the start screen, but the weather app is still open. I'll show you how to get back to that in a moment. But do you see the difference? It's not really closed. Everybody tap on your weather app again from the start screen. And this time, I'm going to show you another way to get back. I want you to hit this flying window key. It's actually called the Microsoft button. Go ahead and hit the Microsoft button. Does that also take you back? You say, why do we have to know 2 ways to do something? If you're on a tablet, you won't have the keyboard. So you would need to click in that bottom left-hand corner. But if you're busy typing, it's easier just to hit the Windows key. So we know how to open an app. Everybody show me in the air how to close an app? All of them. Straight down. Tell me one way who feels comfortable of minimizing a Windows app. Bottom left corner. What's another way using your keyboard? Microsoft button. So you're starting to feel a little more comfortable with this. Now, let me talk a little bit more and show you some other basic things before we move on. And you can keep sitting there practicing if you'd like as we continue. But I want to show you this. They have now sold 200 million copies of Windows 8 8.1. A lot of companies didn't initially go on because they weren't sure all their software would work with it. Turns out Windows 8.1 is the most compatible operating system out there. So all the companies who went, I don't know if our stuff's going to work, all found out that our stuff works. Everything in CVCC works on Windows 8.1. It's all been tested. We're all ready to roll.
QuickBooks?
Yep, QuickBooks by all means.
Has it been working well with Blackboard?
Yeah.
Because we've only got the one computer in our area that we asked them to put Windows 8 on to just work with and see. And so our own office computers still have Windows 7. So I wonder if it's working.
Most of our
with
students have been
Blackboard.
using Windows 8. A lot of them have. So, and I've been using it all of them, not one hang up. And actually, it's better because before, with Windows 7, I'd go to submit a file, and my computer was running so slow that it took forever for that file to get loaded. Now with Windows 8, it just pops right in. So it's been a very positive thing.
You know, some of the websites, they work with Windows 8, but not with the Internet Explorer. You have to go to Chrome.
Yeah, well, any of the websites, they're all funny about what browser they work best, and that's definitely true. But the operating system is good to go. Hey, I want to show you something. On your own computers, you can either use a password, but you can also use a picture password. So if you see people logging into their computers with a picture, this is my grandson. My oldest daughter had a baby a year and a half ago. This is Liam, and he's now 19 months old, but he's my picture password. So if you see any student do this, I touch Liam's nose, Santa's nose, and do a V off Santa's hat. That's how I log in. It takes 30 gestures. So you can do pictures. I'll show you in a little bit. So if you see students around a campus doing this, don't be shocked by it. They can now log in. Let me start it one more time. So now students can do this. 1, 2, 3. You see the 3 gestures. 1, 2, 3.
Does it have to be 3 gestures?
Has to be 3. And you have to do it twice in a row or it won't keep it. So we can show you some of this stuff. I just want to show you some of the features. I like this because I don't need to put my reading glasses on, to get logged in. Now some of the other basic things to understand is that once you create something called a Microsoft account, a login, that when you change your screen, whatever other computer you go to, your stuff will be there. So let's explain it real simply. Let's say, I'm going to use Julie as my idea. Let's say Julie here at school has Windows 8. She's going to get a new computer and hopefully it'll all be set. So, we know. So here at school, Julie sets up a Microsoft account, and she has her syllabus, she has her PowerPoints, she has her favorites on Internet Explorer or Mozilla Firefox, her favorite websites. She has her photos, maybe she's taken some activity pictures in her class. And now if she goes home to another Windows 8 computer or to the library and she uses her login, all those apps that she's purchased, all of her files, all of her pictures, all of her PowerPoints, all of her syllabus will also be there. So that's a neat idea because I'm so tired of having something here, going home and then going, oh, I wish I would have emailed it to myself.
So will this replace VPN for the work?
Yeah, that's the concept behind it. Yes.
Okay. So, when we go somewhere else to another computer that is not on CVCC stuff, we would log in CVEDU /I
So, if we're outside of, what we're going to do is you can tie your Microsoft, you can tie your CVCC into Microsoft. So we haven't done that yet.
Okay.
So we're getting there. We're getting there.
So that would be where if you work from home one day, you're not going to have to go through that VPN stuff of trying to get in to get to your
Correct.
desktop and all. You
So,
can do it this way.
We can do it this way and you can have everything synced no matter where you happen to be. So that's the advantages of it.
I have a question about your gesture and your picture. Is that your lock screen is the picture? And you
Yeah.
just put that in there?
Yeah, I'm going to show it a little more detail on it. I just want to kind of show you the big picture of how everything's working here. Now let's talk about these computers. Students are going to come up to you and say, my mom is going to get me a computer for school, or I have some financial aid and I have some money extra, I want to get a computer. What should I get? Let me tell you what the top 3 rated companies are right now. So if you're in the market, and I'm not coming up with these ideas, this is from CNET and computer magazines and PC. Number 1 right now on the PC side of the house is Samsung. And you're like, Samsung? No, that's Android. They make both. They make Windows products and they make Android products. So they're rated number 1, but because they're rated number 1, if you were to go to Best Buy today, Samsungs are going to be very pricey. They're about $100 more than anybody else because they know they're good. So you have to decide, is it worth that? Number 2 right now, and these are not the companies that were true 5 years ago. The market's changed. Number 2 is Lenovo. And Lenovo, you're probably like, I never heard of them. They actually were IBM years ago, but they've been bought out by a Taiwan, China. But they make a very good computer called Lenovo. So let me just show you one of their products real quick that's really good. So this is what we're seeing out there anymore, are computers that look more like this. They'll start out, some of them as Ultrabooks. This one weighs 1.5 pounds. Do you see it twist all the way around? Not all of them do this, but I want you, when you go to shopping, make sure you ask, what can this one do? Because sometimes if it's sitting on the shelf, you don't realize it. So 1 minute, it's an Ultrabook. Do you see her logging in? And then the next minute, you can make it a tent. And it doesn't break. So almost every computer being sold now is mobile. And it can go anywhere. Stand mode. He couldn't come to lunch, but now he can. So, the 3rd rated company is ASUS. And I always love Best Buy. They'll say, ASUS is right over here. It's okay. So ASUS. But a lot of people always tell me, I really want to buy American, and the top rated American company is Dell. They're rated number 6. And that's good too, right? So, I just wanted to show you some of the name brands that students will, if they're going to ask you, you should at least kind of know how these companies stand. Okay, let's learn a little bit more. Let's see what you remember. What screen is this called? The start screen. These little squares are called tiles. And when you launch a tile, you tap or click. Did you notice we just clicked 1 time? Remember how we used to have to double click on everything? So everything's single tap or click. And on this screen, let's see, we found out that if we open an app, we can get back in the bottom left-hand corner. And we also found that if we want to close an app, how do we do it? Drag it straight down. What I'd like you to try is another app on your screen. Let's hope. No maps?
No maps. They're not available either.
Got maps.
They're not there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just watched.
Yeah, watch.
Did you go to your apps? We got maps on
She
the
doesn't
app.
even have that either.
I don't have that.
They've done something to her. So what I want you to find, it's Maps app. Do y'all see it? Let's all tap or click the Maps app. And look where mine is. Does anybody recognize this once I zoom in? So let me get you there. It's going to say, can I find you? Hit allow. You're there already. So what I want to do at the bottom, everybody should have a big white screen right now, a big map. I want you to take your mouse down to the bottom and right-click your mouse down to the bottom and right-click. When you go to the bottom and right-click your mouse, do you see a dark gray bar open? Let's go over what that is called. This is called your app bar. And almost every app has it. The weather app had it, we just didn't change cities, but we could have. So everybody, by right-clicking at the bottom of every app, you can get the app bar. Well, the first change that I'm going to make on the app bar is I'm going to change the map style. Do you see that at the bottom? No, right now when you click map style, left click map style, it says road view. Let's make it aerial view. So everybody's map kind of turned green. Now let's zoom in on the right side. If you move your mouse to the right side of the monitor, get a plus sign and keep clicking until you're a lot more zoomed in to our hometown here in Lynchburg. Getting there? So if you go really tight, you may end up downtown. So you can kind of see the whole area here. You can find your house. So let's see how we move around. Let's say we want to get some directions real quick. We're going to head to Roanoke, everybody, the exciting trip of a lifetime. So everybody, how do we get the app bar to come back on the bottom? We right click at the bottom, and if everyone would, click directions. It doesn't matter where you are on the map. And you can put in Roanoke, Virginia. Let's see. Oh, it's still trying to tell you about the click up there. Make it go away. Back here. It's trying to help you the first time, but it's actually causing us issues. Put up there, right click again. Let's see. Directions. Let's see. Just trying to help you so much.
How do you get rid of that?
Yeah, I'm seeing that. It's trying to help us the first time. William's got those things set up. Scroll up and down. Let's see if we can go away. Nope, stay. Oh, William.
I know, that's what I was saying. You can't even move and it won't let you do anything.
Reopen the app like you know, go back to the start screen and maybe it'll close the next time. I'm just kidding. Or app.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, we're gonna get there in a second, but
No,
let me
it
try to go
stays
back. It
there.
still stays there. I'm trying to. I'll watch us and I'll just try to get those who can do it. I'm sorry, but now you can click this purple arrow and it will give you directions on how to get from wherever you are on the map.
It says you must provide a from location.
Oh, I'll put in Lynchburg if you don't have a from. And if you notice, it says it's got a car, a city bus, or walking. Hopefully we'll take a car. So you can see how to get there and so forth with the basic app. Now remind me, how do I close the map app?
Corinne,
Yes, reach up at the top and pull straight down, yes.
suppose you want to print these directions.
What we could do in the map app right here, let me go back there. We haven't gotten to the charms yet, but we would open the charms and head out to our device. But let me get there in a moment. So everybody back on the start screen? Back on the start screen. So close up your map app. You go to the very top and pull straight down. Okay. Almost there? Okay, we're starting to get the feel of moving around here. What I'd like to do now is, I'm going to show you the charms. Let me talk about the charms. Hiding from you right now is we're going to open an area of the screen that is crucial to Windows 8. It's kind of like your navigation central, and it's got a special name. It's called the Charms bar. So you're in Charms school. Everybody say Charms. Charms. So let me show you a couple ways to display your charms, and then we'll use them. We know that the bottom left corner of the screen is important to get out in and out of apps, right? Just go to the bottom. Let's go to this upper right-hand corner. What I'd like you to do with your mouse is take your mouse up into the upper right-hand corner and point to the very top and then pull straight down. Do you all get this charms bar to show up? So let me give you the instructions. Upper right-hand corner and then move it straight down. Just point, you don't need to click. Yeah, you got the charms bar right there. Pull straight down and it'll show up. Yeah, just move your mouse up there. So we'll come up here.
Notice mine did too, so now you got to press 3.
So up and straight down.
So you don't have to click at all?
No clicking. So just go up there and pull straight down. There, you got it. Okay, now click on the background of your screen and try it again. I want you to feel comfortable with getting it. Takes a couple moves to kind of feel it. Now let me show you, if you had a touch screen, it is easier. Windows 8 is optimized for touch. You don't have to have touch, but it does work easier with touch. Everybody watch me with my finger. If I had a touch screen, I would just do this. If you touch right here, it opens your charms bar. Okay, no?
No, it just disappears.
It disappears. I'll show you another way. Now everybody click on your background. Get rid of your charms bar. Let me show you how to do it with a keyboard. Are you seeing that there's a lot of ways to do things? Everybody hold down your Windows key plus the letter C at the same time. What do you think C stands for? Charms. So Windows C or point to the top and pull straight down. Both are the exact same action. Now let's discuss what these charms do. So I have my charms open. How many charms are there? There are always 5 charms. You can't change that. There are always 5, yay. So what do? The first one's going to help us search for things. The second one is going to help us share. Let me give you the concept here. If you had open a map and Irene says, hey, Corinne, come over to, we're going to go meet at this new restaurant. She could share those directions with me. She had a picture on the screen of her next door neighbor. She could share that image. She had a Word document on the screen. She could share that with me. That's different. This is a third way to get back to the start screen. So we can click here, we can hit the Windows key, or click here. Why do they give you so many ways? If you're using touch, this is a lot easier. Devices show you where your printers are, scanners, cameras, phones, and settings help us personalize or exit. That'll be good to close or turn it off. So let's start with search. Everybody come up here and click this search charm. And this is different than searching on a Windows 7 computer. Here's why. With Windows 7, you could only type in a file name or a file folder right here, right? And that's all it could find. This finds anything. So, let me prove that to you. I want you, right here, to type in Galileo. I'll help you spell it. Galileo. Now, there's nothing on your computer about Galileo. So just hit the Enter key now. And look what it's finding. Why? If it can't find anything about what you typed in, it'll go out to the web to a search engine named Bing. Bing is owned by Microsoft. And it will find things there if it just can't find anything on your machine. So at first we'll find anything on your computer, but if it can't, it still provides information, which is great for our students. So you can see pictures of Galileo, and how are we going to scroll through all this information? To the right. So take your mouse to the bottom and scroll to the right. Wow, a lot about Galileo.
So we don't have to use Google anymore.
You could, but you don't have to.
But this is quicker.
Yeah, it's much quicker. I like this. So whatever you type in, and there's nothing special about Galileo. Now look on my computer. I wanted to show this. I actually have on my computer the song Galileo by the Indigo Girls. So do you see how that showed up first before it went out to the web? So if you did have something there, then you could find it. Well, let's try it again. You say, well, how do I get out of this? Everybody, how do I get back to the start screen by using the keyboard?
Oh, the Windows, one Windows side.
Everybody hit the Windows, Microsoft window. Everybody got it back? So we can get back. Now let's try it again. Everybody open up your charms bar. How do you do it from your keyboard?
Windows C.
Windows C, or you can go to the very top and slide downwards. Get the hang of it? Do you see the learning curve here? As soon you'll start seeing all this repeated, but the first hour it's like, oh my goodness, this is so crazy. So everybody click search again, and now I want you to type in Central Virginia Community College. And hit enter. And since we don't have anything on the computer, what does it find?
Lots.
Us. You see lots of our stuff?
So I found my map, so I must not have closed my map, right?
That's okay, it can help find that too.
But I mean, that's why I found it, right?
Yeah, it can, exactly.
You broke it.
Do you see right here though, does everybody look on the screen? Not only does it find websites, what does this do? Finds you, using your Maps app, how do you get to Central Virginia Community College? So everything's kind of, anything you need in the whole wide world is now at your fingertips. But,
Mine
go ahead.
says maps install required, so if I clicked on that,
Yeah,
would it do it? Would
let's-
it do it? Would it?
Yeah. Let's install
It shows the.
it. She told me ahead of time, she said, things work weird for me. It's William.
He didn't know where I was gonna sit. Check, but the answer is yes. Always.
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 It does right there to go back.
That's true.
But
Like if you want to go back to the previous thing.
I'm not sure what you mean by previous.
Well, that's not that thing, just to see what it says.
Oh, let me show you. Let me get everybody back on the start screen. Everybody go back to the start screen on your keyboard. Let me show everybody the same thing. So, what we're going to show you is, let me tell you our plan and then show you how to do it. We're going to open 2 or 3 apps. We're going to have lots of apps open. So we're going to open an app and not close it. We're just going to go back to the start screen. We're going to open another app, not close it, and go back to the start screen. So we're going to have lots of things open. Then I'm going to show you how to flip through all the things you have open. Make sense? So let's do this. Everybody open the Maps app, if you're able to. How do you get out of this without closing it? Just hit the Start button, or what we call the Microsoft Windows button. I now want you to open the weather.
To add any place you want. You can access the same
I have
features
started
by
playing.
right-clicking on your mouse and clicking places.
And I want you to hit the Windows Start button on your keyboard to get back. And let's find, did you all see something called Internet Explorer, the big blue E? Open that. We'll talk about the browser in a little bit. And I want you to do the same thing, hit your Start button on your keyboard to get back. So do you understand that those are running right now, but we haven't closed them? So let's see. We know we can get back to the Start button over here. We know that we can get to the charms over here. Let's talk about this corner. You know, we're making our way around. So what does this corner do up here? Everybody take your mouse to the upper left-hand corner, and I just want you to start clicking your left mouse button over and over and over again. Get out of town. Yep. And do it fast. Click as fast as you can.
It only did one thing.
But sometimes you things you have open.
Yeah, that's it.
It's thick.
And
Go up there, top even farther. Yeah, now click.
Yeah.
Click. Oh, no, don't come back. Keep clicking, keep clicking. There you go. Does everybody see? Look at your neighbor. See if theirs is clicking too. Isn't that kind of cool? You say, well, Corinne, let's say I have a touch screen. I don't want to have to use my mouse. Guys, let me show you what I do. I just go from the left side of the screen, and I'll do it physically right here. Do you see what I can do?
Oh, gosh.
You say, how can it be that fast? Because Windows 8 runs so light, it's so much faster to do things. So if Windows 7 used to lock up, not a problem anymore. That same computer will go zing because it's so much faster. Okay, so do you understand? If you close it, let me show you. If I close this screen, show me in the air how to do that. If I close this screen, now when I go through it, that screen is not there. So do you see the difference? They're either closed or open. So now I want you to go through and go to each screen and close it so nothing else is open. So go to your top left-hand corner to get to the next screen, let's say your map. Close it, pull from the top to the bottom, and click in your upper left-hand corner to your next window. Close it. So I just want you to see all the things you have open.
You can't close them all at one time?
Just like regular Windows, you can't close them all at one time. Windows 7, you couldn't close them all at one time. You could minimize them, but you couldn't close them all. Turning it off, that'll do it.
Somebody needs to work on it.
Okay? We're back at the start screen. Okay. This goes back to your start screen, right? This goes through all your programs you're running. This opens your charms. You're starting to see what they all do. So what I want to do with this now is notice there's an arrow right here. You may have to move your mouse in this location to see this arrow. You all seeing it? This is new to Windows 8.1. Everything we've done this far was the same in Windows 8 as 8.1. But this feature is new to 8.1. So let me show you what this little arrow does down here. I want you to press this little arrow, and it looks like it went down a screen. Didn't it kind of feel that way? This shows all the apps on this machine, or on your login really, that are on your computer right now. And they're in alphabetical order. That's kind of helpful, you know what I mean, to see everything in one picture. So let me show you how to move one of these onto your screen. I'm going to peek within yours. Right click on travel. That's what I see they have this on there. Yeah. What I'd like you to do is find the travel app. Do you see the word travel? I want you to right click the travel app. And when you right click the travel app, do you see the app bar appear from the bottom? So you right click and you'll see the app bar appear at the bottom. On the left side of the app bar, do you see something called Pin to Start? Click Pin to Start for me. And what has now shown up on your start screen? Travel app. Let's go ahead and open the travel app. We've got to see it.
I'm going to Ireland.
There you go. And how do you scroll around in the travel app? At the bottom, head to the right. And if you wanted to go, let's all go to Rome. How do we go to Rome? Take me to the top. Do you see the search up there on the top right? Type in Rome. Okay, you can be in Maui. And now scroll to the right. Are you in Rome? At the Colosseum? Pretty cool? And if you look under Rome, there's something called panoramas. Click on one of the panoramas. If you scroll to the right in Rome, click on a panorama and start dragging your mouse around. You kind of see what happens. Is that not awesome? I could log in as me.
I don't think it'll make any difference.
Show off. Because I've been away. She's in Maui.
I think you're wrong. It's okay.
Okay, good. Just too much traffic. Okay, everybody, how do we close the Rome app? We go to the top, pull straight down. Starting to get the feel? It get a little dangerous here?
But, Corinne, but the app still stays on my start screen.
Yes.
But I've closed it.
Yes, so in other words, it's pinned, it's kind of like an icon. It's no longer open, but it's sticking there.
So how do we get rid of them if we don't want them?
Okay, great question. So next thing, everybody on your start screen, I want you to find the weather again. You all see the weather? Finding it? I want you to right click on weather. And when you right click on weather, does everybody see the app bar show up again at the bottom? Now let's slow down here and read what are our options here. I could unpin it from start. Let me make sure we understand this. It doesn't take it off your computer or off your login. It just means it's not on the start screen. I could still get to it by hitting that arrow and seeing it later. But I don't want it. I want to put what's on my start screen as the things I use most often, my central life. So I can put it right here. What does uninstall mean? Yes, you pissed off William and he's taking it away from me.
Julie.
Okay? Now you all see one called resize. Let's do that one. Everybody click resize. And all apps have different sizes, but some have 4 different sizes, some have 1. It was up to the developer of how many sizes they're going to let you make it. So how many sizes does the travel app turn into? 4. Try large, then try wide, then try medium, then try small. You have to right click on the app each time. And you can kind of see what resizing it does. You say, well, look at my travel app. As much as I love to travel, I've just made it a little one because I'm usually doing business presentations and that might not be as appropriate. And do you see something at the bottom that says turn live tile off? Let's explain that. Look at my screen. Notice my weather is constantly updating. That's called a live tile. And many of the apps, you can turn them on or off. They're called live tiles. Now let me explain why I don't want that on all my tiles. Right here I have my email. Why do I want my live email as it comes in showing to a full audience? My luck, I'd get a Viagra ad. You know what I mean? It would be awful. So this way, I've turned off that live app. Weather app, do you notice if it's turned on, you get different cities each day? That might be okay. But then it's hard sometimes to find the weather app because it's got a different picture on the background. So you have to decide, do you want that turned on or turned off? So it's up to which one. I was doing a big presentation one time, and in my email, someone in the audience wrote, tell them how evil Bill Gates is. And so that you don't want sometimes those things turned on for obvious reasons. So we can change any of that and pull it off this screen. Make sense? Let's go back down there again. Everybody come back to this left arrow. Go down to the bottom. When you install, look at mine for a moment. I found an app called Epicurious. It's a cooking app. Love to cook. When it first installed, I'm going to show you momentarily how to install new apps, it goes to this screen, not my start screen. Because then I can easily find it because it's alphabetical. If I decide I want to stick this on my start screen, I can right-click right here and pick Pin to Start. So by default, nothing adds to your start screen until you ask it to. So let's move back and forth. You say, well, how do I get from this screen back up? Go to the top of your screen, and you'll notice if I want a touch screen, I could pull straight down. But what we can do on our computers is just hit the start button again, and it'll take you back. You'll see it move up. So you kind of see how all that stuff's working.
Now yours had the A, the B, the C, and all that.
Once you get so many, it'll start going A, B, C. Look at my screen. Do you see? You can keep adding. So over and over again. Let's talk about these apps a little bit to kind of understand what we can do here. Does everybody see? I think how we're going to do this. We're going to try something a little difficult. William says, "Don't do this," but I'm going to do it anyway. He tells me not to do it, I may not do it. I want to tie, and William's okay with it. He just thought it would take 5 minutes to do it. And so I said, well, I think I'm going to still do it. I want to tie your CVC account to the Microsoft account. There's no big deal. All it does is now allows you, no matter where you go, to sync yourself. So let me just show you how to do this. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the Windows Store, but you have to know your new CVCC email and password. If you don't, you're not going to be able to do this part. Okay, everybody kind of knows that? Okay. Everybody find your Windows Store. Before you can open it, but let me talk about what the Windows Store is. The Windows Store, if you have an iPhone or an iPad, we call it the App Store. It's where you can get all these apps. If you have an Android, we call it Google Play for those who have a Google device. But if you have a Windows device, it's called the Windows Store. At this point in time, there are 240,000 apps in the Windows Store that you can add to this. About 80% are free, about 20% are paid. So there are a lot of great apps in all of our teaching areas. So there's great, business apps, and there's great, health apps and calorie counters and all the things that we might use. And that might be something that you use in your classes. It's a lot more free. So how would we get them? You can go to this Windows Store, and what I'm going to have everyone type in is go up here to the top. Do you see where it says search for apps in the top right hand corner? And I want to type in, recipes. We'll just make it simple for everybody. Recipes. Hit enter. Do you see all the many apps? How do you scroll around on this? At the bottom. And as you can see, there are a lot of apps. Do you see where I'm coming from?
1,000.
Yeah, easy. Now, do you see? They show you at the bottom if they're free or paid. And if you're at CVCC, you can only do the free ones unless you want to start pulling out your credit card. We all get the understanding here.